Let me hit you with something bold. On July 1st, 2025, Canada did something that might change the next 50 years of our economy, maybe even our identity. We shipped our first ever Pacific LNG export. Boom. For the first time in history, we are sending natural gas to Asia. Without begging America, finally, maybe, just maybe, we are not just their gas station anymore. And I'm not just saying this to hype the headlines. This is for the retiree in Calgary who rode the last gas boom. For the young professionals priced out of the clean energy jobs. And for every family that watched their heating bill spike last winter. Because if you think this is just about the energy, you are missing the plot. This is about sovereignty, about control, about finally standing up on our own 2 feet. And it's all starting in a tiny town on the BC coast called Kitimat. Here is what we are breaking down today. Canada's first LNG ship just left Kitimat. What that means for energy independence. The massive technical and political hurdles that could still kill this dream. What Indigenous-led LNG projects are really teaching this world, and how your bills, your jobs, and your country's future all hang in the balance. So if you have ever wondered whether Canada can actually lead in global energy, or if we are doomed to stay America's polite little brother forever, strap in. This story is way bigger than it looks. So, picture this. July 1st, while the country is busy waving flags and flipping burgers, a tanker named the Gaslog Glasgow quietly sails out of Kitimat. It's carrying Canada's first ever liquefied natural gas export from the Pacific coast. We are finally cutting out the middlemen. Before this, our gas had to take a long detour, piped thousands of kilometers to the US Gulf before getting on a ship to Asia. Now, direct line. Half the shipping time. Massive price advantage. The project? A $40 billion mega deal. Shell, Petronas, Mitsubishi, PetroChina, Colgas, all in. It's the largest private investment in Canadian history. Once it's stable, it could export up to 14 million tons per year. That's game-changing. But are we ready yet? Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Subscribing to my channel is not going to cost you anything, but it does help me big time. Thank you. Now back to our topic. Here is where the hype train hit the red light. That first cargo, it left early. The facility wasn't even fully stabilized. Train 1 for the first processing unit is only running at half of its capacity. Why? Issue with turbines, coolant systems, high-stakes hardware. One Shell tanker got rerouted to Peru mid-voyage. Not great optics. So, the big question, can we deliver LNG at scale and reliably? Because if we can't, Asia is not going to wait around. They have got Australia and Qatar on speed dial. This pipeline, Coastal GasLink, cost double what they planned. Nearly $14.5 billion. It cut through some of the toughest terrains in the BC area. People were protesting, lawsuits, equipment failures, weather disasters. And all of this built on the hope that global demand stays strong, that geopolitics do not shift overnight, and some guy with the bolt cutter does not sabotage the line. Oh, and remember the National Energy Program in the 80s? That thing nearly split the country. This is round 2 with even bigger stakes. Right beside LNG Canada, the Haisla Nation is launching Cedar LNG, the world's first Indigenous majority-owned LNG project. That's massive. it will produce about 3.3 million tons a year by 2028. And guess what? It's powered by BC Hydro. That means way lower emissions. LNG Canada is also touting half the global emissions average thanks to BC's clean grid. But let's keep it real. This is still fossil fuel. Yes, it's cleaner, but global climate targets do not care if it's a little less dirty. They want zero. And if global demand tanks or prices crash, this clean energy might end up as a stranded asset again. All right, why should you care? Let's break it down. LNG could add $7 billion to GDP by 2030. Construction brought 9,000 skilled jobs to Kitimat, over 300 permanent roles, royalties, taxes, corporate profits. It is fuel for Carney's fragile budget. But exporting more gas could also squeeze domestic supply. That means your power bill might creep up. That gas furnace, more expensive to run. So yeah, it is good for GDP, but maybe not so good for your wallet. This is it. This is our energy sovereignty final exam. If Kitimat works and Cedar and wood fiber follows, Canada gets to name its price, chart its own routes, talk to Asia directly. If it fails, we go back to being a polite extension of the US pipeline grid. This is the chance to do what we should have done decades ago. Become an energy superpower on our own terms. Here is what to watch for next. Will LNG Canada greenlight Phase 2, doubling exports? Will Cedar LNG lock in financing and customers? Will Ottawa finally pass regulatory updates to keep this momentum? Will the public stay on board if environmentalists turn up the heat? Because right now, the whole thing is held together by optimism, duct tape, and a lot of money. This is not just about gas. It's about Canada growing up. Do we keep selling raw resources cheap or finally build the infrastructure, the projects, and the partnerships to add value here at home? Do we honor Indigenous leadership or just tokenize it? Do we lead on climate or hide behind cleaner countries while blaming everyone else? This moment could define what kind of country we become in the next generation. Here is my challenge. Don't let this story disappear in headlines about billionaires or reality shows. Learn the name Kitimat, Coastal GasLink, Cedar LNG. Talk about them. Debate them. Share this video with someone who thinks Canada does not matter in global energy market. Because if this works, we don't just export gas, we export Canadian values, Canadian leadership, and maybe, finally, Canadian independence. If you found this info valuable, please subscribe, like this video, and share this video with your friends or family. Drop a comment. Is this the turning point or a mirage? Either way, we will be here, unlocking Canada one story at a time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.